So how you doing, Francis? You're our star pupil.
I'm doing great.
All right.
I'm enjoying my life up here in the Okanagan Highlands.
Oh, good, good. And you've got it. You say you have a satellite link.
Yes.
How's that working for you?
Um, well, I have HughesNet for my internet, but I don't like it for using it for TV. So I'm going to change. I went to Roku for my TV, and it sucks up too much of my data off my satellite. So I'm going to go to DirecTV probably.
But this is working for you.
Because these
For
this works
on the
for
web.
me.
This works great, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I'm real pleased with it.
All right.
It's the only thing that's available up here.
Right. So for anybody watching YouTube during the week, no matter where you are in the world, you can join us live with a satellite link like Francis is doing from Eastern Washington.
Right.
All right. How did it go this week with with reading?
It went well. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, and I feel like I'm getting a little better all the time.
Okay, great. All right. Well, our goal here is to study the DNA of Torah. Torah was written in Hebrew. Hebrew is the building blocks, and we can find out interesting things like we did last week, like we talked about last week. And this week is Torah portion Korach.
Hey.
And we have Zach with us. Welcome, Zach. How you doing?
Hi, Zach.
Oh, we're not getting your microphone. All right. Francis, would you like to do this? Shema?
Okay. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Akkad, Baruch Shem Kavod, Malkuto Leolam Vayed. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is the name, the glory of his kingdom is forever and ever.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Zach.
Okay, great. Okay.
Can't see you.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late,
Zach,
but I'm here.
So I just found out, I know guys that use Bible Hub a lot. The Torah study at the synagogue, they use Bible Hub. I did not know until this week that Bible Hub has the grammar too. If you
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Have you been using that?
Oh, yeah. It's great because it parses everything right there.
It does. It does. And there it is. If you click on the INT, which means interlinear,
Yep.
it pulls up. Now I don't especially care for their transliteration. Like you'd have to know how to read this. Like this looks like Wayika, but it's Vayika. Vayikach, because that
Right.
it's a het that
Honestly, though, you need to kind of learn that anyway, because if you want to read any kind of commentary, a lot of them use this notation for transliteration. And so reading commentary
there you go.
The same way. So it's good to learn it, actually.
Yeah, so if you want to learn the normal transliteration signs, you can do that at BibleHub.com. And then you see down below, like Zach is saying, here's Vayikach, and it says it's kal, a verb, kal, and perfect, imperfect, third person masculine singular. I'm not sure about consec. That's vav consecutive. What that means is you've got this chiric vowel under the yod, and then you've got the little dot inside the yod. Vav consecutive is a narrative form. So he's telling a story here. And he took Korach. That's what Vav consec. And they've just got it shortened here to consec. So Kal is simple. In our chart, we'll see that in a second. Kal is the simple form of the verb. Vav consec, imperfect, because the yod is before the root. The root is lakach. Yod is before it. That makes it imperfect. And the vav. Okay, so that's probably a little too much for Francis. I think Zach might have followed that. How did you do with that, Francis?
I'm learning.
Yeah. The thing is, you want to get your head to
I
start
noticed.
smoke. If your head smokes, you're doing good.
I noticed they pronounce the vav as a w, a wa, and
Yeah, so like
I really
Zach is
object to
saying-
that.
Yeah, like Zach is saying, that's the normal. Like I get
Like here, like look, here's a commentary by Bruce Walke on the Proverbs. Okay, and you can see that they use the same. I don't know if you can see it.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So he doesn't write the Hebrew in here, which is kind of annoying, but that's so that more people can access the book. And so you got to learn how to read it. Yeah, it's kind of annoying, but whatever.
All right, so that's an advantage then of Bible Hub is you get to learn the. All right, moving on. We've been talking about recording, and I mentioned one a couple weeks ago. But Zach, just so you know, Accordance has the Hebrew audio, and it's not quite dramatized. They use different voices, but they don't have like music and stuff like some dramatized versions. But it can be done by chapter or by verse. Either way, it's a little. It's $59. Today is the last day that I can offer I think today's the last day that I can offer a 15% discount through Accordance.
Is it worth it?
I don't know. And the reason I don't know is because what I found I want to do, which I can do with the Dan Beery recordings, is I import them with Mimi Copy. That
Right.
yeah, and I can slow it down. I don't know if this can be slowed down, so this might just be 100%.
Do we want to? I'll talk in a second. Someone's car is going off. Okay.
All right.
Do we want to? Maybe we could start as a group, chunking Dan Beery's into chapters.
Chunking it into chapters. Oh, because you get the whole book, right?
Yeah, I mean that's just something I'm reading through Genesis right now, and I might as well start listening to Dan, and then when a chapter ends, like save it as a file and put it in a shared drive or something.
Now, what you
I don't
can
know.
do if you, so what I did, I've listened to Dan Beery a lot, and
He's great.
yeah, multiple times in Torah, all of Torah, and if you get the Mimi Copy app, which I think costs like $5. Do you have iPhone or?
I have an Android.
You have, okay, I think Mimi Copy is only iPhone. I'm not sure, but anyway, if you
Oh, look.
yeah, but if you find another app that can slow it down, the way it works with Mimi Copy is, I'll show you how it works here.
Because I've slowed down audio before, just with either YouTube or VLC media player, any media player you like can, but you were saying that it doesn't mess up the audio or something.
Right. So here's what Mimi Copy looks like on with Dan Beery with Leviticus. Now there's a tracking bar, and and wherever that bar stops, it'll stay there the next time I open it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so right now I've got this at 80%, and I don't know if you can hear this, but I'll try.
Yeah, I can hear it.
So it will stop. So if you follow along,
Right.
and then you stop, just remember where you stopped in your text, and you come back, and the recording will be there.
Can you go back 30 seconds or 5 seconds?
Yes, there's these buttons right here that go back 15, 10, or 5, and you can change
that's great.
those. Yeah, I use those buttons a lot.
I'm going to get this. This looks like a good thing to get.
Yeah, and that way, even though it's not broken down in a verse, you know exactly where you are. Yeah.
Cool.
It might be Android, I'm not sure.
I don't think it is, but I have an Apple computer, so I might be able to get it as an app on that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now Francis and Zach. By the way, Kellen and I just were talking this morning. We're getting about 9 people a week watching online. So even though there's only a couple of us here, there are people watching this during the week. However, they're not on the bubble right now. So does one of you want to try to translate these 7 words?
I mean, I remember, so.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It's lo tinasheni, right?
Right.
And the lo is not. The tav is you, but it's future tense of forgotten. So you will not be forgotten by me.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, here it is.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, I figured out with Francis last week how to send you guys stuff. So let me do that again. I'll go to chat and I'll share files. So I have 3 files I can send. This is decoding Hebrew, the one Zach just did. And then I'll send you the modern Hebrew verb conjugation we're going to look at next. And I'll send you something else. Okay, so those will pop up in your chat. And so Francis, see if you can add this to your arsenal for next week. And see if you can translate these 7 Hebrew letters into 7 English words.
Okay.
All right. And here
I was able to get the chart that you sent me.
Good job. All right, and let's take a look at that next here. All right, there's our chart. Modern Hebrew verb conjugation. That verb we looked at with the Bible Hub that was in kal. Here's kal. It's also called pa'al. Same thing. Kal, pa'al, same thing. Simple active form. That's the normal form of a Hebrew root. Kamatz batak. Pa'al. And then they conjugate these different ways in order to create different meanings, whereas English often uses different words. Hebrew just conjugates differently. All right, so let's go to our Torah portion. All right, Susan, are you in a position to read the transliteration?
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
So verse 1.
Yeah, let me hold on a second. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, go ahead.
Vayikach Korach ben Yitzhar ben Chat ben Levi Vedatan Va'aviram B'nai Eliav Vion ben Pelet B'nai Reuven.
Good.
Now Korah, the son of Izhar, son of Kohath, son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men.
Okay, good job.
So the men is implied here.
What's that?
The men is not in the Hebrew.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. The men is added by the translator. I don't have Young's up here because we made the Hebrew bigger and I'm kind of running out of space. But yeah, I'll bet Young's wouldn't have the men because, like Zach is saying, the word anashim is not in the Hebrew. Yeah. Right. Now, an interesting thing here is, and by the way, I'm getting really impressed with the more I read. I really like what the translators did, and you know, if you like literal, there's Young's. If you like making it easier, there's ESV, and there's all these options, and everyone's trying to give the best they can. The King James is beautifully poetic. They all have their different attributes. What I'd like to look at here in this verse, the next couple ones, is construct chains. And we've talked about them before. It's where you can insert the word of. So for example, we've got a bunch of construct chains here. Ben Itar. Now you see Ben, that's the regular word for son, right? Ben. And it doesn't change. If it doesn't change, you can guess because of Ben, but it's a masculine singular construct. So that's a good way to remember it doesn't change. Ben Itar, son of Yitar. Ben Kahat.
Does that reinforce the idea that single men can't change?
Woo!
You know how women are always getting men to want to change?
Are you implying then that married men can change?
That just hit me as funny.
All right, actually, that wasn't my intent, but you know, everybody gets something different from studying Hebrew. So, all right, so we got Ben Levi, son of Levi, and then now we see the difference between singular construct chains, masculine singular, and plural masculine construct chains. Vedatan ve'aviram b'nei Eliav. So there's the masculine plural construct chain. Instead of ben, it's b'nei. So there's an illustration for you right there.
So, which way is the lineage going? Is Levi the son of Jacob, or was Reuben a son of Jacob too?
Oh, I think it starts with their dad. So Korach, the son, this would be his dad, granddad, great-granddad. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, or is it the other way around? Is it okay? Okay, yeah, I see.
Yeah, because Levi, you know, he's one of the 12, right? So it kind of works back to him.
Okay, so it stops at Levi.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And then it starts with these guys. These are guys from a different tribe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting because in my Chumash commentary, it says that the the tree of Korah stopped short of Jacob because on his deathbed he prayed that his name should not be mentioned in connection with Korah's mutiny. Does that ring any bells?
No. Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because it could say son of Jacob, son of Isaac, son of Abraham. But it stopped short.
Right. Okay, I see. We know what happens to Korach in this Torah portion, right?
Right.
Right.
That's really interesting. That was from a commentary?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. So that they just stopped short in his genealogy here, not to
Right.
give him
Because
credit.
apparently in Genesis, I can't read numerals, but let's see, Genesis, I can't read the numerals here, but somewhere in Genesis, Jacob prays that not happen, but I need to look into it more.
Probably the end of Genesis, maybe when he's giving his blessing to his sons.
Yeah, it's XLIX.
And he's saying it's XI.
XLIX.
Oh, that's 49. So
Okay. That's a tough numeral.
yeah. That's his giving his prayer on his deathbed, his prophecy. Okay. All right. Who's up for verse 2?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay. Verse 2.
Wait, can you show the transliteration?
Sorry.
Okay, we ready?
Yep.
Okay. Vayakumu lifnei Moshe va'anashim mibnei Yisrael hamishim umatayim nesi'i eda Kerie Moed Anshe Shem.
Good.
Okay. Any pronunciation errors there?
Yeah, but you corrected it. This
Okay.
one, Nessie A, and then later on you were saying it right, like Keri A. So
Right. Yeah. Okay.
You got it correct.
Okay. Okay. So I'm trying to translate these without looking at the English, right?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
okay. So verse 2. The first one, I gotta look already. Okay, and they rose. Okay, and they rose to the face of Moses, the men, the sons of Israel, 50 and 200, so 250. Chief or leaders of the congregation. What's that word?
Korah is to call.
Okay, and they call. Okay. Moed is, they call it an assembly. Okay, Moed, yeah. They called an assembly. The men of name.
Good. And sometimes that's translated like men of renown or famous men.
Yeah, that was new to me. That's cool.
Well, actually, there's some really, you did fine because there's some really tough ones in here.
I practiced it before, right? So I've read.
Yeah. Well, I was reading this last night, and I actually I had to look up one of these. Oh, Keri A Moed, because Moed to me is an appointed place or time.
For a feast.
I was just gonna ask that.
Yeah.
That it's appointed time.
Yeah.
But I don't see that in the English anywhere.
Yeah, they do it as assembly, and that makes sense, in context. The called of the assembly, or in this case, chosen from the assembly, is how they translate it here. Literally called of the appointed time. So yeah, good job. You did fine. Now these are a bunch of we got again. What kind of masculine? What kind of construct chains do we have here? Like this right here.
What do you mean? What kind of construct chain? Just a normal
Gender and number.
Masculine, plural.
Good job. You got it. Nesi eda keri moed anshe shame. All 3 in a row, masculine plural construct chains. So you can add the word of, like chiefs of the congregation. And then you could say men of renown, but they say well-known men in the translation here. So yeah. All right.
So can we go back to why I guess Moed is translated assembly here?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Well, it literally, so Moed is an appointed time or place. Here, I'll
In Genesis, I just read that it was the seasons, right? Like when God created the earth, when he created the sun and the moon, they were Moedim for the appointed seasons.
right. And you could say probably more intentionally that the sun and the moon are for the appointed times, because
Right.
everything in Torah, all the times are adjusted or named by the sun and the moon. So, all right. So the Western calendar is just the sun. The Islamic calendar is just the moon. That's why Ramadan can happen summer, winter, fall, spring. But the Hebrew, the biblical calendar is sun and moon. So it resets. So if you just go by the moon, Passover would end up being any time during the year, but it always has to be in the spring. So that's the sun. The sun causes the calendar to reset and put Passover back in the spring. And so the sun and moon become for times and appointed times as well as seasons. So
Cool.
Yeah. Now, when it translates it as seasons in Genesis, it translates Moedim as seasons, and then in Leviticus 23, it translates Moedim as feasts. And if you're not reading the Hebrew, you're not making the connection between seasons and feasts. It's all appointed times.
Right. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. And so here's the instant details.
Well, theoretically, if you set up an assembly, you set up a meeting, that's like an appointed time, I
Right.
suppose.
It is it's an appointed time and place. So it's a legitimate translation. When you say, okay, let's meet at this place at this time, and you're going to assemble there. So
Right. Yeah.
it works.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay.
I don't have Young's up. I'd be curious to see what he says, but he probably says something like men of the appointed time or whatever. But yeah. Okay. Francis, are you up for verse 3?
I'll give it a try. I'm not as far along as you guys, but I'll try. Okay.
Okay.
Bayik halu al Moshe ve'al Aharon Bayumer is that Bayu Ru? Okay, Yomru. Aleham, Rav, Lachem, Ki, Kol, or is that Kol or Kal? I always have confusion with that.
It's always either kol or chol. Here it's chol. It's always o.
Kol, okay. Ha'eda, kulam, koshim,
Don't miss the
ube, okay. Kedoshim,
Good.
Kedoshim, Uve Tokam, Yehovah, Umadua, Tit, Na, Neseu, Al, Ke, Hal, Yehovah,
All right.
or Hashem, or
So
I always pronounce it Yehovah. I'm on Nehemiah Gordon's side. It's Jehovah.
so try to engage a different. This will be good for you, even though you've got this and you read it one way. Just for the when you're on here, if you could do it Adonai, that'd be great. Adonai or Hashem.
I'll try.
Okay. If
I don't know.
yeah, and I'll tell you where I'm coming from on that. I understand Nehemiah Gordon, and I've read his books, and I've talked with him, and I've listened to him. And my thing is, I am trying to communicate with Orthodox Jews, and I can't communicate with them if I do that. I will put up a wall. Boom, wall. Nehemiah doesn't care because he's already made his mind up about Orthodox. He doesn't care about that, but I do.
Call it, say it Adonai all the time, huh?
And if you were to get involved in a Torah reading in a synagogue, they wouldn't want you there if. So be flexible. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try.
All right, try to go ahead and translate now.
Okay, I'm just going to have to read the translation.
Okay.
They assembled themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said to them, "You have gone too far, for all in the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Why then do you exalt yourself above the assembly of the Lord?"
Good. Any comments?
I have a comment.
Yeah.
There is a 6-letter Hebrew word that translates to 6 English words in this.
All right.
Yeah.
Which one are you thinking of?
It's in the midst of them, and in the midst of them. But,
right here.
But I guess so it's and in the midst. Well, maybe not the. So, but the root word is in the midst. So if you got rid of among.
Yes, there's toch means among or midst, and also, that's and the interesting thing about that is this is a case where you need to know the root is toch, like
right.
There you've got it right there, toch. And the reason that's important is you could look at this and think that kaf mem on the end is second person.
Right.
Like
yeah.
Yeah.
It tricked me.
it does look like that. And then you would think, well, they mistranslated. They've got among them, which is third person masculine plural, whereas chem is second person masculine plural. But that kaf is not part of the suffix. That kaf is part of the root. Does that make sense, Francis and Susan?
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, yeah, I guess if you look at you have it highlighted down there in the instant details, the root with the
Right.
with the final cough. Yeah.
Yeah, there it's the final cough, not the regular cough as it is in our word here.
That's why it's tricky.
It's tricky. That's right.
Because it's hard because you memorize that root, but you don't actually see that root.
Right. Right. Good.
But I guess it's only 5 English words because I put a definite article in there, but whatever.
Oh, because you were saying in the midst of, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's move to verse 4. This is,
Shortest verse.
I was going to give this to Kellen. I'm going to make you do 2 verses, okay? So go ahead and you can do this verse first.
וישמע משה ויפול על פניו. When he heard this, Moses, he fell on his face. Plop.
Yes. Okay. So Shema, to hear and obey. And he heard, and there's that, we were talking about that at the beginning of class with the Bible Hub grammar. There's that vav consecutive. See the chiric vowel under the yod, and then the little dagesh inside the yod. That makes it, it's called vav consec. And you see in the instant details, vav consec, vav consecutive. It basically means it's a narrative form. They're telling a story here. And this happened next, and this, and this, and this, okay? So, and he heard Moses, and he fell, vav consec, and he fell on his face. Just a reminder, I was talking with somebody yesterday about this. Panav. We say in English, he fell on his face. What's it literally saying in the Hebrew?
Upon his face?
Upon his face says.
Oh, it's plural?
Yeah. The paneh, pana, it's always plural when talking about people. In fact, maybe all the time it's plural. You see there in the instant details, it's a plural. In English, if we say somebody's two-faced, that's an insult. In Hebrew, the language recognizes that everybody has multiple faces. And if you think about it, you've got a face for your parents, a face for your friends, a face for your employer. Yeah, so literally he fell on his faces.
It says, my commentary says that he fell to pray, and notes that Aaron did not pray as well.
Interesting. And I'm not sure it's a happy prayer in this case. As you go on in the Torah portion.
Like, don't kill them.
Well, yeah. Normally, when Moses falls on his face, he's praying that God not kill him, and Moses is not praying that in this chapter. Okay, so yeah. Okay, Kellen, you got another one because that one was so short.
Too easy, Kellen.
Yeah. וידבר אל קורח ואל כל עדתו לאמור בוקר ויודע אדוני את אשר לו ואת הקדוש והקריב אליו ואת אשר יבחר בו יקריב אליו.
Okay.
And he spoke to Korach and all his congregation, saying, in the morning you shall know whose is Hashem and who is holy, and he shall draw near to him, and who is his firstborn shall draw near to him.
Okay, Kellen's translating from the Hebrew, and one of the meanings of Bechor. Bechor could be firstborn or it could be strong young man. Here it's Bachar, it's chosen. So it's God will show who his chosen ones are. All right, good job.
Sure.
All right, any comments about this verse?
Well, it says that in all his congregation, so that would include Dathan and Abiram and what was it?
Own? Is it own?
I don't know. And then
But he didn't
There
show
was
up.
250 people.
yeah, the 250 censer bearers.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Mhm.
guys.
You know, Own doesn't die. One of the theories is that his wife told him to stay away from that.
Who doesn't die?
Originally, it's Own.
Own.
Own is joining the rebellion, but when it comes down to it, he's not there to die with the rest. And one of the theories is that his wife convinced him that he was doing a mistake.
Reminds me of Caesar when his wife was like, no, don't do it. But Caesar like, whatever.
Caesar didn't listen, so there you go. Okay. Didn't listen to his wife. Remember, hey, remember when God makes woman, what does he call her? What's the first thing God calls her? In Hebrew. It's Ezer Kenegdo. And Ezer is a helper. It's translated helper. Kenegdo means neged is opposite. So opposite him. A helper opposite him. How many of you are into the meanings of the Hebrew letters? Any of you?
I think I think it's kind of important, but I haven't studied it too much.
Okay. So if you take I've got an interesting story about that sometime, but not for now. But I think there's something to it. And if you take Ezer, it's Ayin, Zion, Resh. Ayin is eye, Zion is weapon, and Resh is head or person. So an Ezer is someone who sees the weapon person or sees the enemy. And also she's opposite him. Lots of times you hear people say, my wife and I are getting divorced because we're not compatible. Well, guess what, bonehead? You married somebody opposite you. Oh gosh. So yeah, I mean, you see people do it all the time. They marry someone who compliments them. Compliment is a nice word. Opposite, yeah, compliment is a better word.
Apparently the reason for that is there's a quality in that person that's opposite of you that you don't have, but you recognize that it's important. So it's appealing because it's attractive. It's something you don't have.
Right, and the trick is to when you have a difference of opinion, is to realize you're seeing this person is showing you something from a different perspective, and the fact that you don't see it doesn't mean they're wrong. Okay, so yeah, how did we get started in that?
I don't even remember.
Okay, all right. So Ezer Kenegdo, the value of a wife. She sees the enemy. Men can get.
It was because you were going into the Hebrew meanings of
letters. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was something before that got into Genesis.
Of the letters.
Yeah. So the men can get so single track, they miss what's going on around them, and time again, I've seen that with my wife. If I've heard so many times, Peter, Peter. Okay. So I'll do verse 6. Zot asu kechulachem machtot Korach becha adato. Yeah, actually I put the wrong inflection. I'll do it again. Zot asu kechulachem machtot Korach becha adato. Yeah, and the reason is there's kind of a comma there after machtot. All right, so this you shall do. It's a command, asu, imperative. Take, and that's also an imperative command. Take for yourselves. There's that, we were talking about it earlier, that second person masculine plural. Chem. For chem, for yourselves. Machtot, censors. Kind of like a comma there. Korach and all his assembly. And the vav there on the end is his. So he's first talking to you, masculine plural, and he says Korach and all his assembly. Yes?
Well, why wouldn't he have been burned up if he had a censor? Why did only the 250 guys get burned up if he had a censor?
Kellen's asking why Korach doesn't get burned up. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I got a question for you. What happens to Korach? Anybody know what happens to Korach?
You get
So-
swallowed up, right?
Gets swallowed up. Susan or Francis said something?
Yeah, he got buried. The earth opened up. He and his family went in,
So now I've got a question for you guys.
wasn't it?
Oh, I've got a question for you, and I don't have the answer. Psalm 88, a prayer for help and despondency, a song, a psalm of the sons of Korach.
Yeah.
Remember-
Somebody
Everybody was in bed.
avoided that hole.
What's that?
Somebody, because it says in Genesis that they all got swallowed up, but obviously they didn't.
You mean in Numbers? Yeah. It says here in Numbers that they all get, his whole family. And yet,
I don't think that
Yeah.
means that they had to have survived. They could project how the generation could have felt.
I don't know what you mean.
I don't know.
Try that again.
Are you
It
are you
doesn't mean
saying,
that-
Sasha, that they are you saying that they wrote those psalms before they died?
I'm saying that somebody could project how they might have felt. It doesn't mean
Okay.
that they necessarily survived. It just that think how these people might have thought.
I can tell you there are some crazy theories about this in
Wait a minute. Also, sons could be just continuing generations. So maybe their sons went down, but maybe there was grandkids or something.
maybe and I am so embarrassed about some other rabbinical theories, I'm not even going to repeat them. But
Oh, come on.
no, I'm not going to do it.
He cuddled his way out of the earth.
That's one of them, actually. So
No.
well, it's kind of close to that. Okay. So verse 7, we're back to, I think, are we back to Francis or
No.
Susan? We're back to Susan.
Oh, did Susan read something?
Yeah.
Not for a while.
Susan, did you? Yeah, you did at the very beginning.
Pretty sure
didn't you?
Francis was first, I was second, then Susan, then Kellen, then Peter. So I think Francis.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Oh, Mom, I think Rocco was first.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
And then you.
All right, Susan, go.
Utnu vahen esh vesimu alehen ketoret lifnei Adonai machar V'haya ha'esh, or ha'ish, asher yivchar Adonai hu hakadosh rav lachem b'nei Levi.
Good job.
Mhm.
Translate.
Oh, oops. Put fire in them and put incense on them before the Lord tomorrow. And the man whom the Lord chooses. Oh, am I supposed to say Adonai chooses? Shall be the Holy One. You have gone too far, sons of Levi.
Yeah, yeah. When you're translating, you can say Adonai or Hashem. If you want to say Lord, that's fine. If you want to fit in with a synagogue, say Adonai or Hashem.
You know, is the proper way to pronounce Levi or Levi?
Levi.
Levi.
Yeah, there's that seri vowel, Levi. Well,
Everybody
actually,
says it Levi.
yeah, sometimes the seri vowel is just eh. So yeah, Levi. All right. Any comments? All right, verse 8.
Just a comment that I was wrong about the ordering. So
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, but now what does that mean?
Right.
Does that mean it's Francis now?
No, it means it's my turn.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, wow.
Okay, verse 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Vayomer Moshe el Korach Shemu na bene Levi. Okay. And Moses said to Korach, let's see, Shema, plural, na. Na is like now.
I would say normally it's please.
Please. Okay, so please listen to the sons of Levi.
Yeah, so it's translated here. You can see it's translated here now, you sons of Levi. And you did great on your translation there, Zach. And so I was this was a big thing for me learning Hebrew. First time I'm reading Hebrew, I go through, I get to chapter 22 when God tells Abraham to sacrifice his son, his only son. And he says, Kach na. Kach is the imperative form of lakach. And all the English translations say, take now. And I'd already seen na several times reading, and it was always been please. And I thought, well, that's not take now, that's take please. But all the English translations said take now. So I thought, well, what do I know? I'm a first-time Hebrew person. What do I know? A few months later, we met Danny Ben-Gigi, who's given a conference at our congregation, and he said there's translation errors on every page of the Bible. Take, for example, Genesis 22. That's not take now. That's take please. So you can see I've got a bias toward please. But if you want to say now, like all the English translations do, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong.
It's just the Hebrew word is na, and it sounds like now, so that's how I remembered it, right?
And then because the King James translated it now, Strong's gives that as a legit translation for na.
Oh, really?
And so it keeps the cycle going, right?
That's why I started in the beginning of Genesis so that I can understand when words come the first time and kind of build my vocabulary that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like we were talking about last week with Torah portion Shalach, remember the spies give a bad report of the land, right? It's a dibah. And I was wondering, boy, that's an unusual word. So I wanted to see when the first time it was used is. first time, only other time in Torah that word is used besides the spies and God searching out the spies giving a evil report. Only other time in Torah is Joseph gave an evil report about his brothers.
Huh.
So that shows that Joseph wasn't this innocent 17-year-old. He was kind of a jerk, because dibah is always slander.
Ah.
Yeah, so it's not, when he's giving a bad report, it's not just the brothers were screwing up, it's Joseph slandering. But there you have the first use of the word dibah is in Genesis, and it's like a hyperlink.
Right.
Yeah, you got it right. It connects these passages. So
That's cool.
yeah. All right, we're gonna go back to our PowerPoint here, and hey Zach, have you ever read Adon Olam from the Hebrew?
I think me and Susan split it last time I was on TV.
Okay, Francis did it last time. Kellen's done it. I don't think I've ever done it. All right, so, or maybe I have, but all right, I'll do it. So, I'm tempted to sing it, but that would be a mistake. All right, just for you guys, it would be, you would consider it a mistake. All right. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Le'et Nasa V'chepso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Hichlot Hakol Levado Yimloch Nora Vehu Haya Vehu Hove Vehu Yihye Betif Ara. Master of eternity, who reigns, reigned before all was formed or created, and it was created for a time. It is when it is at the time when it's all done according to his will. Then he shall reign. His name shall be proclaimed king. And afterwards, when all is finished, by himself he shall reign in Norah, in majesty.
Where does this come from?
So this is it's kind of it's in the Siddur, right? Is it in the Siddur? Yeah, it's in the Siddur, isn't it? So I don't know. I thought it was in the Siddur. It's but it's a popular song in synagogue. If they're going to be singing songs, this is one of them, and it's done as a progressively faster. You can get it on iTunes, the very best of Israel, Volume 2. and you can hear it. It goes really fast. It like Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Okay. All right. I warned you I shouldn't sing it. Okay.
Have you ever done the Lord's Prayer as part of this slideshow?
You know, if you want to, we can. We can do that. I'm instead of the Shema at the beginning. Would you guys like to do that?
That'd be cool.
Or we can
Yes.
start with the
Well,
Shema and we can close with the Lord's Prayer. What were you saying, Francis?
Yeah. Moed Ministries, we do both. We do the Shema and the Lord's Prayer,
Yeah.
which is nice. It just,
Okay, so would you like to do the Lord's Prayer instead of the Adon Olam?
Yes.
Okay.
Keep it scripture.
We'll plan on that. Next.
all right.
All right. So next week is Torah portion hukat. And hukat, they're understood to be things that don't necessarily make sense. So we get the red heifer when
What is the reference?
it's Numbers chapter 19.
Okay.
And the guy who handles the ashes of the red heifer becomes unclean, but the person on whom they're sprinkled becomes clean. All right. So
Cool.
thank you, everybody. And
All right.
thanks for joining us today. It's a pleasure. And those of you that join us on YouTube, feel free to join us someday live on the Zoom website or app. And you can call in at this number right here, 206-999-7127. We'd love to have you. All right. Lahit Toraot. Until next week.
See you later.
Bye-bye.